And at you from a studio audience, coming at you live in front of a studio audience.
No, in the middle of the audience.
We're standing in the middle of an audience. Help us find the stage. It is the SideQuest live for March 1st. Worst kept secret. I'm one of your hosts, Dolly Demofsky. Yeah. Joining me, the person above me, Taylor Bliss.
Oh, sorry, I was still reeling. My bad.
Are my eyes still focused on the camera?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking at your.
I can't look at you anymore because
I hate it.
The ring light is so offsetting.
Hi guys! Oh my gosh!
Sorry.
NVIDIA.
That's.
This guy right here is SideQuest.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the magic eye.
No.
And right up there.
Coming to you live in I think 240i.
If that. If
possibly P.
Yeah. Hey everybody, hope you're all having a wonderful evening. Staying warm. Why is that every week it seems like we're calling in the middle of a blizzard or some weird storm happening? California's getting hit right now.
I just got an alert showing the snowfall at Disneyland.
Oh Jesus.
Which is insane.
Stay off the Small World ride because you get plowed in there. How y'all doing? Doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing amazing.
You're doing amazing. You're like, I'm doing amazing. That's all I got to say about it. Just pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm pretty happy. So
you're pretty happy? Why? Why are you happy? What makes you happy?
Life is good, man. I don't know.
Living the dream. That's just good.
We were on life was on a downturn for a couple months, but now it's on the ups. You know.
We swinging.
Yeah,
we're swinging.
You're swinging. That's good. I mean, hey, to each their own. I'm not going to judge. I think it's awesome. But
spoken like somebody who's not currently swinging.
Someone who's staring at stuff on the wall, and it looks like I'm staring directly.
Yeah, I hate it.
That's what we're doing at PAX, right?
Yeah.
No.
Could we use the camera at PAX? How awesome
no, he was doing.
No. I wasn't talking about that.
We're gonna all throw our hotel. We're gonna all throw our hotel key room into a bowl.
Hey, speaking of PAX, we're 22 days away from PAX start. I think it starts on the 23rd, correct? Wednesday. No, Thursday.
No, it starts
Thursday.
Thursday the 23rd. I don't know dates anymore. Thursday the 23rd, and it is 4 days of beauty and wonder. We have our amazing panel taking place on that Thursday.
Fantasy 14 panel. That's what we're hosting.
Zach is hosting it himself.
Zach is literally going to skip our panel. It doesn't even overlap. He's just not going to be able to make it.
Sorry, guys. I'm at the final
camping out. Panel. I'm going to need to stay in the hotel room.
There you go.
The app for PAX just went live. So
did it really?
Yeah. Woo-hoo. So you can now download the app and set a reminder for when our panel starts to know when to avoid the Dragonfly Theater.
Please get in line. Last year we had a phenomenal turnout, and what I think I'll do is I'll post the videos this weekend. People can watch the two panels we did last year. Sadly, we're only doing one because I only submitted one this year. I think Wordle kind of had its way of the moment last year. I think it's kind of.
Let's do it again.
I don't think it would have quite hit the same way.
Yeah, wouldn't have quite.
We cashed in at the peak, baby.
I think the New York Times would have got us this year if we tried. But we have the panel 789 talking about our favorite mediocre games. We have a stellar group. It's us four, obviously. Also joining us is three other wonderful folks. Sam Dixon is going to be hopping with us, which is always
live and in person. A very rare treat. To have a
dressed as a cat. That's the joke. We're going to have Sarah LeBoeuf. I'm always screwing up people's names. I'm going to wing it. Sarah is going to be with us again. She was there last year. Phenomenal. They were awesome. And then, of course, we got Nola Nerdcast joining us for the first time. I'm excited to have them on the as part. We have a perfect 7, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
But the real PAX breaking news is what we've been telling everybody. I was teasing it. Hold on to your butts. You're hearing it here first. So you know Nintendo's going to be there, right? Everybody, right? I'm looking at the audience, right? Or the camera.
They know. I think they know.
Xbox is not going to be there that we know of so far. PlayStation's not going to be there. But we run the party list every year, the biggest party list in the world of any event, actually.
Period.
PAX party list. Last year we had a phenomenal event, PAX to the Moon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, not boys and girls, because I think it's 21 and over. No pets either. SideQuesting is once again hosting a party at PAX East 2023, taking place Thursday. We'll still be in the panel during the time this PAX party starts.
We are last time.
Yes, this happened last time. PAX GPT. We know you all love AI rendered stuff, and I think PAX GPT is gonna be the name of this party. It is a what do we say? So we have like 15 different taglines for this.
Yeah.
It's once again at Howl at the Moon. They're kind enough to allow us to be there again. We had a great time. Listen, you're gonna come to our panel, right? 5:30 to 6:30, and then after our panel, you're gonna walk out of the BCEC Boston, whatever. Yeah. And then you're like this. You're gonna walk to Howl at the Moon, which is not that far away.
You could just follow us. I mean, we're gonna be, because we have to go right there.
We're just gonna show up with a gigantic entourage.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, we do have to drop off all our stuff at our hotel first, and then head over to there because I'm not carrying a laptop with me, and I don't feel safe leaving it overnight in the.
Yeah. And the media. And the media room closes at like 7. So.
Yeah. But. Definitely. We'll see you all there. Go right to there. Free entry, of course, if you're part of our party, which you are if you're going there. There's free food. I think that there were some good appetizers, good food last year, actually.
They were all it was like in the eating trays, and it was like mac and cheese bites and shit like that. It was like
those were great.
Perfect bar food.
Perfect bar food. So.
And then we got drunk and started singing Bon Jovi. That was
yes. The band was fantastic.
You started singing Bon Jovi. I did not sing. I did not sing Bon Jovi.
I refer to myself as we. That's
royalty.
Yeah, it's all right. Weird because it's not weird because I also refer to you as we.
What's we doing today?
What's we doing today?
My wee.
I mean, I think it's. We're going essentially from 6 to 11, and then you're by going to the Howl at the Moon, you will actually be able to get into the sort of nighttime bar for free, which is down, I think is what it's called, like lower level or something like that. So it's an added bonus. You continue the party going on.
Are you gonna get some sick sunglasses again this year?
We got some sick sunglasses. I got a plastic orange cup that I use for watering my plants, which is fantastic. But we're going to try to have some giveaways and prizes. I'm trying to work on some sponsors. So if you're watching us and you're a developer or publisher or PR or just a good person, let us know. We'll probably have something. I'm sure we'll have something there for sure. We'll announce that closer to the event. But Thursday, March 23rd, starting at 6 o'clock, or just wait till we're done with our panel and join us afterwards. We'll see you all at Howl at the Moon for our second annual PAX. It's actually the third PAX East party we've done for SideQuesting. We did one, 2014, something like that. It was called Versus, which is really bad because I said, let's make the hashtag VS because Versus. It sounds really cool. It was Victoria's Secret, so I was getting like a lot of weird mentions. People showed up to our party. We actually had we had Jordan, who used to be writing for us, and he went on to Fanbyte and a bunch of other places. Used to work at actually started writing for us, went to Joystick for a while, worked at Joystick, then went to Fanbyte, a few other spots. Rapped at our party, did a live amazing rap session, and that was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Were you there, Taylor?
No, I just remember. I'm just remembering that Jordan did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was still following, because he was JPEG is adjacent. So it was on the Twitter when it went down. I'm recalling that it occurred.
It was blast. The JPEG.
JPEG is core to the history of the site, and don't worry, we'll have our JPEG. We'll have our JPEG seminar on Wednesday during the dinner.
Yes, there you go. The SideQuest.
It's a file type on my computer.
I mean, not too.
Don't worry, you'll learn.
Yeah, not too far removed. If you like Wesley Johnson with his.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah,
that's not wrong there.
We absorbed. I still remember every year we bring the story up. Ryan Gann, managing editor of SideQuesting, made it a point to absorb to take over Armless Octopus and Insulin Funk. That was his mission, and he kept egging people on. He kept telling us every time we saw him, every time we hung out online or ever in person. He's like, one day we're gonna shut down we're gonna take over Armless Octopus.
Little did he know, all he had to do was wait.
He just had to wait.
It was much easier.
Oh, it's great. Because Aaron showed up. You showed up. There were I think a couple other folks came over and wrote for a bit. But
jeez, I just remembered. Speaking of Ryan, I have to really fine tune some sick yo-yo tricks before.
Oh
yeah.
That's right.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun day. Thursday's gonna be awesome. So
Ryan was the only person that would go in the PAX East media room and do yo-yo tricks in there. So you'll have to carry on the tradition. I don't think I've ever seen anyone else do yo-yo tricks in the PAX East media room.
People would be transcribing audio and video and stuff, and there's Ryan in the middle just doing just sick yo-yo tricks. That's great. All right, let's get on to some of the news that's pertinent of the day. There are a few things. There is a few stuffs. Breaking today. So is it today or yesterday? Today, I don't remember. Yesterday, whatever. The Elden Ring.
It's the light. It's making him you just can't focus.
It's getting loopy.
It's loopy. Elden Ring is officially getting DLC. Shadow of Erdtree.
Of the Erdtree.
Shadow of the Erdtree. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, God Almighty. Sorry. Shadow of the Erdtree. They've announced it. Zero timing on this sucker. Don't expect it this year.
I mean, this is surprise. This is surprised if it comes in 2024 to me.
Yeah, that's my worst kept secret.
I don't know. To me, the way FromSoft does things, they reuse assets so much that they can just make stuff pretty fast. Because their turnover time for games is pretty small. That's
true. You got a good point. I mean, they do a lot. They do a lot of heavy lifting in text and just written text. And I mean, we don't need to rehash the main game development points of From Software. But if you want to know what happens in a From Software game, you got to get out your reading glasses. So
yeah. No, I think we'll see a trailer this year. I don't know if we'll see the actual DLC.
I mean, no shot. We don't. We have to at least get a trailer from TGS.
Yeah, I think it'll be TGS. Yeah, I think so too. TGS did just announce a bunch of stuff. They're actually expecting their biggest show in they said their biggest show in 4 or 5 years, but I'm from what they're kind of putting out there, it might be their biggest show in almost 10 years at TGS. So expecting a lot of stuff. I think
that's the biggest surprise actually to me. Because obviously Japan was a little bit slower on COVID. COVID lockdown stuff, so that was always keeping it behind. But the fact that it's gonna outpace, it's a shame because you would have expected TGS would have probably been really, really big. Actually, no, because they had 2019, which was right before PS5 launch. That would have been the fact that it's gonna outstrip 2019 was actually just kind of crazy. If that's how it's gonna go.
Here's the way they're wording it. Just tells me there's going to be Dragon Quest 12 stuff there. That means that's what biggest ever means. We're going to have the next Dragon Quest. That's huge. But also maybe Persona 6 or maybe something that's those two alone are big enough for them to be it's going to be pretty big.
That's fair.
Because those stinky old Japanese games over there, they're just so weird.
I mean, I'll be interested. We'll probably see some more, maybe another Kingdom Hearts trailer too. So,
yeah, that's a good point. I mean, there's so Square Enix is going to be at E3, and I wonder if we'll see the Final Fantasy 16 trailer there. Final Fantasy 16 shows up at the end of the month, right? Of June,
22nd.
Yeah, so E3 is a couple weeks before then, or 10 days before then. So we'll see the Final Fantasy 16 trailer and info. But we're gonna have more than maybe we'll see some Kingdom Hearts stuff. I don't know. But one thing we're not gonna see at E3 is good old Nintendo, who have announced that they are officially skipping E3 this year.
Who could have guessed?
Yeah, but are they skipping Summer Games Fest?
Summer Games Fest. Yes, I'm sure. But I did want to bring this up, interestingly enough. Though it's a bummer, Nintendo was sort of the last of the big three to have a booth inside E3 as a part of E3 proper. It's not the end of E3 yet. They're going to be at PAX East, as we noted. They're going to have a booth at GDC as well. So this is it's really interesting of what's happening with E3 in general. It's not ReedPop because ReedPop puts on a lot of stuff that Nintendo shows up at, and they have a great relationship.
Yeah, I mean ReedPop has been PAX for
ReedPop knows how to hold a show. Yep. there are business issues.
Yeah,
exactly. I think we mentioned TGS because I have a feeling right now that Nintendo typically holds a direct around TGS, and they did that last year, a full-on direct where they revealed a bunch of like Bayonetta stuff and a bunch of other things. I think we're going to get there's all kinds of rumors, of course, of the Switch, getting the new Switch. We were kind of talking about that a little bit, but I think we'll get that announced in right around TGS time, if at their direct. That's my personal guess. Nintendo won't be there, but
Nintendo's clear, like, just control the news message with the direct, and then if you're going to go to these shows, they go to the shows that the consumer is going to be at. So it's just that's their game plan for this kind of circuit these days, and it wasn't going to change. Like E3 is supposed to be like the half and half kind of thing, but they're just not interested in meet and greeting with the press.
Right? No, it's it is. I don't know what Nintendo has the second half. We know what they have up until July, and they have a ton of crap up until July. But then after that, we don't know, which is pretty normal actually, because they did that the last couple of years. We didn't know anything that Nintendo had. Then at around June, they'll dump a bunch of stuff. Last year they didn't. They just kind of trickled some things out, but they still had a pretty big launch year. Although we knew Bayonetta was coming out, we knew Splatoon 3 was coming out. And those just kind of got their own individual.
There wasn't like a huge gap between announcing and releasing of the new Pokemon. Like,
right.
So,
well, they did announce it last year on Pokemon Day.
Yeah.
But
which just happened.
Which is what I was going to get into next.
Yeah. I was trying to segue you.
Anyways, Nintendo is no longer at E3 this year. We'll see what happens, but they will be at PAX East. But like you said, there was a Pokemon Direct. It was a very sleepy Pokemon Direct, literally, because it was a boring as hell Pokemon Direct. I'm sorry, there was nothing in there. I guess the DLC for Scarlet and Violet. But other than that, I mean, I don't know enough about that anyways. But Pokemon Sleep still exists.
There's a PSA for people who are super into Pokemon and used Pokemon Bank. Your time is ticking with the eShop shutting down on the 3DS. So if you've been storing your Pokemon in the Pokemon Bank, you got to get them now.
That's shut down.
What's the recourse there? Like, do they shift them over to do you have to like do some sort of transfer?
Yes, into home.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Me, the Pokemon connoisseur, I of course knew that. I just wanted you guys to say it out loud.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think they announced it when Home or something was revealed.
Yeah.
And they've been talking about it. Make sure you get your Pokemans over. So by now, if you don't know, it's on you essentially.
Yeah. You've got less than a month now at this point. So
it's this month. It's PAX like 2 days after PAX is over, or the day after PAX is over, something crazy like that.
So.
So what's the deets on Pokemon Sleep?
It is.
Tell me about it. I did not watch. I did not watch this direct. So
I don't know how it's I don't know how it's going to work. Is it use your microphone? I mean, I know there are other sleep apps out there. It probably uses your microphone. And probably uses the idea of like you pick every time you pick up your phone, it registers it as a pickup, anyways. So I'm sure it ties a few things over.
Yeah, a lot of these sleep apps just kind of focus on movement and sound. So it's listening to you. And I think they kind of expect you to keep it like on your bed. Or you see, in this case, they have the little Pokewalker Plus thing.
No, it's the Pokemon Go Plus.
Yeah.
What I don't know. How is this going to know any?
It's the Pokemon Go Plus. There it is. It's literally called the Plus.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I know. If I was not watching this, I would never believe you.
No. So the Pokemon Go Plus was that little device that you carried with you to play Pokemon Go. I guess it was more like a watch or whatever it was that you kind of didn't really need it. This thing, they're calling it the Plus. So stupid. But you put it under.
Listen,
your
I'm sorry. Where are you getting that sleep graph from? Are you kidding me? Okay, listen. I don't know. I'm just so glad that I'm not interested in this shit.
Yeah, see, you're supposed to sleep with your Pokemon Plus.
Yes. Look at literally, you just set it next to you on the bed like a lonely person and hope that it wakes up. There's a Pikachu.
I'm just saying that, like, man, Nintendo is not a fucking. They're not a health company. Why are you going to try and sell something that?
All right, they're not, but they did a while ago. Remember? Let's see if I have that. They don't have the video. They had that sleep sensor. Let's see if this is still. Yeah, they had that sleep sensor. They had that whole quality of life initiative where they thought we're going to do this sleep sensor thing.
There was that small section of time where Nintendo was being serious about.
That's true.
Because Wii Fit, was a thing. Ring Fit Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
They've always
what was their little finger thing where you're putting?
Yeah,
the
they
had a heart rate monitor.
And they've always put out. Nintendo loves putting out pedometers, man. Just nothing but. I mean,
but pedometers work and make sense. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not trusting a Pokemon ball puck to detect my sleep patterns, man. I'm not doing it.
No, but there's a Pokemon in there.
Yeah.
Now does it sound
how about now?
Now?
You got a Snorlax in that Pokeball.
Your significant other rolls over. It makes your Tyranitar.
You know what? That is actually bad.
Babe, can you stop rolling over? My Snorlax is waking up, okay? You're disturbing my Snorlax.
That's brilliant.
I think that's the title of the podcast. You're disturbing my Snorlax. Babe,
I'm writing that down. You're disturbing my Snorlax.
Yes.
Dozing, snoozing, and slumbering. Oh, man, I can't do it. This shit, man.
Any dozers and snoozers?
Any dozers? Any snoozers?
Are you a drowsy or a Snorlax?
Are you goofy sleeping?
How is this? I have no idea.
Babe, you woke up my Snorlax.
What an idiot.
Summer 2023. I mean, man. I already pre-ordered the Pokemon Go Plus.
Of course you did. What else were you going to do?
I have a busted TV. I need to pay that off.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, the vitality sensor. That's what it was. It wasn't N64. It was for the Wii. And the bike thing was a
Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo had that had a bike that you could plug into your.
Nintendo. The NES had a sewing machine.
Yeah.
So
did the Game Boy, and that had officially licensed software. Nintendo was all in on this.
The ear on it. They had microphones on the end. They had a lot of weird stuff. Anyways, that is
Listen, the expansion port on the Nintendo 64 controller was extremely versatile.
Correct. Hey, do you guys play Mortal Kombat 11? You guys like Mortal Kombat 11?
I mean, yeah, I played a lot of Mortal Kombat 11.
What do you think the next game from NetherRealm will be?
Not that.
Mythologies 3.
Ooh, I like that. Ages of Mythologies. No, it's Mortal Kombat 12, and it's coming this year.
Shit! Oh my god! Everybody do your best Pog face right now.
Oddly enough, now there's been a rumor that this was going to be was being developed, and it goes from there. But
yeah, what a surprise that NetherRealm Studios has been working on Mortal Kombat 12.
No, I think what's really funny about this isn't that Mortal Kombat 12 is coming or that's coming this year, is how it was announced, which was during a freaking investor relations call. Because
what the freak?
The CEO, whoever it was from Warner Brothers Discovery, was talking like, yeah, oh, by the way, yeah, we got those video game things. You know, we're doing with that Hogwarts. Hogwarts Legacy, that's doing good. We also got that Suicide Squad game. We got that Mortal Kombat 12.
We got that Schmiegel game coming out.
Not only that, releasing this year.
Yeah,
I know, right? Oh, it just like ruins it. Well, it was great because the tweet
from
folks from NetherRealm, like Ed Boon, was even like, hey, what's going on here?
So how about that?
It should be Injustice 3 because I actually liked Injustice 1 and 2.
I mean, Injustice 3 has been teased already. Like and the comics have been like a massive success.
They're working on both.
Yeah, I mean, Injustice 3 is coming. Warner Brothers has probably seen the interest. Like the Suicide Squad game is clearly heavily influenced by the story wise
by Destiny 2. Yes, correct.
Yes. Yeah, no, mechanics wise Destiny 2, story wise Injustice, but
yeah, there you go. Mortal Kombat 12. Any other news we want to touch on before we
Final Fantasy 16 looks cool.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah.
It just looks really cool. I don't know.
Square bringing everything to PAX, which is very exciting for.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of on a little bit of a PR push. A lot of articles dropping over the last 3 days. Interviews with Yoshi. Interviews with Yoshi P and. Well, what's interesting is that it's not. I've seen way more coverage about the shit that Yoshi P has to say compared to any raw preview coverage. I mean, maybe that's just specific to the kind of like Twitter sphere that I've built for myself. But that's almost exclusively what I've seen highlighted.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't want to comment on that because I don't really have like a horse in that fight. Like, I am gonna play Final Fantasy 16. I'm a big fan. I'm also a white person. Like, I can't really say much. But I will say, if I will say something on it, is I do, even though I get where people are coming from, I do respect Yoshi P for having a very strict view of what he wants to make. Like, he just wants to make this game. He's like, I want to make Game of Thrones in Final Fantasy. That's what I want to do. I'm sorry it doesn't live up to, these other standards that we may have. And, like, I think that is cool. Like, it's good on him to have a vision. And he's always been that kind of person that executes on those. And also on the flip side of this is he is usually pretty shy to talking to press because things like this happen or things get construed or just a lot of things, because he's a very serious guy. Like, he'll just say things pretty cut and dry what they are. And people as humans, we always try to insert things to like fill in the blanks. And with Yoshi P, I don't think there's anything like negative or like there's nothing, there's not a bad bone in that guy's body. He's just like, I'm making a game, this is my job, this is what we're doing, that's it. And there's reading between the lines people are doing, and I understand that, but it's just like, I don't know, there's got to be a point where we just say, hey, it's a game, and cool. But there are some great points, like Barrett in Final Fantasy 13 having Zas, I think is his name. I forget his name, the African American guy in that game. But I mean, like, yeah, cool, whatever. Besides that, though, I just want to now we can actually talk about the game. I think is what's really interesting to me from Yoshi P is him just saying like, hey, this is the game that I want to make. And also, I don't care about anything that happened in the past. Everything in the past sucks and it should be dead. Like, that's kind of what he's like pretty publicly saying is like, we're not resting on our laurels. This IP is in the garbage. I've brought the IP back to life twice now. So I'm going to do what I want. So that's been fun to see him just be like, there's no sacred cows. We're killing it all. Like we're just going to go to the wall.
I just love the disrespect to Final Fantasy VII that the Final Fantasy VII remake was. It's so good.
yeah,
wait, was 7 remake also his team?
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying yeah. I'm just saying.
I didn't think so.
I was just saying in the overall Square Enix biome right now, they just your gods are dead, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what's cool is like the two, at least in my mind, like the two recent Final Fantasy games that have been the best are the ones that are like, we don't care about that. Like we're gonna make you mad, but in a good way. Like, and that's what Final Fantasy 14 is too. It does a lot of that, where it's like it plays with your expectations. And they intentionally do things to rile the people who are playing the game and stories and stuff. But yeah, that's what's interesting to me is him having this pretty big seat to fill on this global stage, and him just being how he normally is on his Final Fantasy 14 dev talks, where he's just like, yeah, like, this sucks and we're going to change it, or this sucks and we don't like it, or
I mean the thing that I took away from at least from what I read on a couple of the pieces that I saw was that it was like the majority of audiences have shifted over to wanting this kind of game. Final Fantasy was not doing that kind of game. So we took the things that we liked about Final Fantasy and we're going to put it into the kind of game that people like now. And that was kind of his general ethos for like how he's making Final Fantasy 16, which I can get behind.
And he also has
pretty big spoilers, by the way, that you kill Garuda. That's kind of fucked up.
I mean, they had to show.
How you just gonna do that?
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense because you have all the other powers, so you have to be killing.
How you gonna spoil the Garudas in the game?
Oh, but yeah, how you gonna spoil that the icons that have been in the game since Final Fantasy 1 are gonna be in?
That's kind of messed up. Anyway, what were you saying?
No, I was gonna say it's. Well, what was I saying before you interrupted me?
I mean, we're just talking about like scorching the earth and rebuilding.
Yeah.
So Yoshi P, in one of my favorite interviews he did before Endwalker came out, he talked about how Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is his favorite like RPG story. Like he basically compared, he said like, Modern Warfare 2 is like 4 guys are in a party and like you're each
true designer brain, by the way.
Yeah.
This is shit that only a game designer can like. It's like, I'm sorry, like, and I don't mean to throw shade on it, but like there is no shot that even after you explain this story, I'm not gonna feel this way about Modern Warfare 2. You know what I mean?
So military grunts looking for crystals and
I mean, yeah, and like that's like, so him saying his take for the new Final Fantasy is like, let's modernize it, and him modernizing it really is just like, let's Game of Thronesify it. Like that's really what it is, because Final Fantasy 15 is a modern game. It's an open world exploration game, but it's not modern in the sense of like a global audience. It's modern in the very, like what he was saying, Japanese, like negative connotation of that. Like that's what Final Fantasy 15 is. So
We're
he's
talking
like
Vanquish level of Japanese.
yeah, we're talking about Vanquish levels of jank here. But yeah, it's just like so interesting to me that Square, because like I feel like Square Enix normally wouldn't allow this type of talk to happen with their game, their next game to come out. But the fact that it's the man that literally brought them out of bankruptcy twice is like, bro, like we can't tell him no. He's like kind of just the dude. You know?
It's a level of openness that you're not used to out of a Japanese developer in particular.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
You know, it's funny. It's funny to me that there's still so much of a sticking point on like how traditional Final Fantasy is gonna like how traditional is this Final Fantasy gonna be? It's like, dog, we haven't had like a raw traditional Final Fantasy since 10.
Yeah, and even 10 was pushing
even
it. Like
10 is like pushing it.
Even 10 started to like buck it pretty significantly.
Dude, even 7 is like different compared to like what the series is known for. It's just weird. I think what Yoshi P was like saying is like the connotation of Final Fantasy is the anime, the Japanese like negative connotation that he got really offended about, and he's like, and for a very just reason, he's trying to like, even Final Fantasy 14 does an amazing job of not falling into those tropes of media that
but it falls into all the good tropes of that media. Like it still does a bunch of anime ass shit. That's just one of the reasons why I like Final Fantasy 14 so much.
So I'm just excited. I'm just excited for him and for the team that I've just kind of obsessed over for the last decade, because it's like Koji Fox. I was listening to him talk. He's a guy who writes Final Fantasy 14. He's the translation
and does a lot of the translation,
and localization writer. But what they do for Final Fantasy 14 is Koji Fox, who's fluent in Japanese, obviously, and English. Him and the writer in Japanese sit in the same room, and they write the stories for these games, and they bounce ideas back off of each other, but they're both actually writing 2 different scripts for different cultures. Like he's doing the English version, they're doing the Japanese version, and they're going back and forth, bouncing ideas, and like, oh, what would you say here? Okay, so for mine, I'm going to say this, or you're going to say this, and like that's how they do stories in Final Fantasy 14. And they're doing the same thing for 16, and they were talking about. I saw them talk about how they did that back and forth. Like the Japanese guy wrote the whole script. He translated it. Then they retranslated it back. And then they shot like motion capture and facial capture. And they translated, and they did the primary one in English. So the game is supposed to be played in English, is like the default. And then when they were shooting scenes for the Japanese, they would change dialogue to fit into the English mouth flaps. So the game is just like a constant like cultural like mishmash going constantly. It's just so interesting. Like I'm excited to see what comes out of that, because it's just like not what happens ever. And that team is always doing weird stuff.
And if you're also interested, they'll be at PAX East on Saturday talking about Final Fantasy 16.
JJ will be there.
They will also be there on Friday talking about Final Fantasy 14.
I
would imagine that one's going to be on the stream, I would think.
Yeah, both of them.
They both will.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I just want to ask them a question.
I may be at the Final Fantasy 16 one. It depends on how long they expect me to wait in line for.
Yeah, JJ is very important.
Very important.
Yeah, I got things to do, people to see, shit to buy.
I just want to ask Yoshi P and Koji one thing. I just want to ask them, how much of the story for 14 do they have planned before they like executed on the story? I'm really curious.
You should walk up and you should just ask them just why.
Yeah.
Why?
Like, hey,
and then walk
Yoshi
away.
P.
Why?
I saw there's a really interesting thing that came up. The like pre-rendered video or screenshot of Final Fantasy 2.0 that they were making looks really similar to the Final Fantasy 16 like final image. So it's very just like, okay, maybe they've been having this idea for a while. So I just want them to touch on that because. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into what we've been playing, and we're getting a few reviews here as well as other stuff that we play. I want to talk reviews first. I've been reviewing some stuff. JJ says he has a product. I don't know what that means. I do want to start though with someone who's not on the podcast did a review for a game, and that would be Stefan Swanlin in our chat right now and in the Discord. Did a review of a game called Scars Above out. I think it's Madhead Games developed this game. But check out the review. He likens it to some of the stuff that From Software did with a little bit more of an adventure and scientific spin on it. Has a little bit like a Returnal feel, weirdly, but visually. So, anyways, check out his review. That's a trailer going. He did a really nice write-up. Better than the rest of us do.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Make us look bad, Stefan. What the heck, dude? But check that out on the site. Scars Above. Thank you very much. Now, I've been reviewing two games. Both of them have sort of retro visual feels. Both of them are platformers. Both of them are. They're very different from each other. I'll start with the first one. Okay. Panda Punch. Sounds kind of, that's a fun name, Panda Punch. Fun to say. Panda Punch. Panda Punch.
PP.
Panda Punch. Panda Punch is not a good game.
But it has mild blood.
It is not a good game. Play as a cool red panda. That you can kind of, visually it looks kind of neat. It's got sort of a cross, like a 24-bit somewhere,
it looks
Game
like
Boy Advance-ish.
It looks like a cell phone game.
It looks like
Cowboy into these people.
It's a platformer. It's got a little bit of Mega Man-ish, only from the standpoint of you got this fist. You can use your fist, which is something that we've all heard in the past.
Mr. Fist.
It's okay. There's a lot of problems I have with this game. The
DuckTales bounce.
Yeah, it's got DuckTales bounce. It borrows stuff from a bunch of different platformers throughout gaming history.
Its entire aesthetic looks like Jetpack Joyride.
Again, the aesthetic is the only thing that I like about this game. The bad part is these biomes are so overused. There's like an overworld that is it's a map, right? And your goal is to try to get from. Okay, let me tell you the story right away. I'm gonna start. The story is really funny because you're this red panda and you get injured somehow. I forget how the story unfolded. You come home to your dad, who's a scientist, apparently. I don't know. And the panda says, "Dad, I think my arm is hurt." And the dad says, "Oh, I know just how to fix it. I'm gonna chop off your arm and put a big cybernetic fist on there." I'm thinking, you just amputated your son's arm and put a big metal hand on it, and his arm had like a bruise. His arm was scratched. Is that what kind of parenting is that?
This is, I have a daughter, I have a dog. What if I had both?
What if I had both? Exactly. So you do everything in this game with this punch, right? If you get injured, see those little dots up at the top, those are your health, right? And you can grow your health and keep getting extra. And that's like essentially some type of currency. I don't know if it was gold. It was just like this weird card thing. Essentially, right after you get this punching cybernetic arm, you have to go escape. The story is never clear enough to let you know exactly what you're doing. Now, again, it's a platformer. You don't need a great story in these things. You just need great gameplay and to make it fun.
And it turns out that your arm was your mom all along.
Yeah, right. No, and this game doesn't have fun in it. It doesn't control well. The punches are, even at the very beginning, the punches just seem really like overly weak. You have a big cybernetic fist on there that should demolish stuff. Like you take several hits to beat up little guys, to get hearts and refill your life. In every other game, it's just like a quick thing that's sitting out there that you just run over, you pick it up, and you go on. In this, you have to bust open capsules that keep punching these things. Enemies are really poorly placed. Like you'll make a jump from one level here to like the next one, and you won't see an enemy off the screen. And the minute you land here, the bullet will be fast enough to hit you. And if you've already only got like 2 hearts left or 1 heart left, you're kind of screwed.
The old Sonic the Hedgehog.
it seems to want to borrow from that. It's like needlessly not difficult, not challenging, just needlessly aggressive against the player. Like it doesn't feel like it wants you to have a good time. I did not have a good time playing this. It's very repetitive. There are only like two biomes. There's a forest, and you can't tell what's going on. Like every stage look exactly the same in the forest. Yeah, you may be slightly below ground or slightly above ground, but they're using a lot of the same icon sense. These enemies, this dude is in every single stage from the very beginning to the very end. They have the same there's like literal shotguns hanging off the sides of things that shoot at you. Why? I don't know. I don't know why shotguns are there.
When's the last time you've been in the woods, man? There's shotguns.
I don't know. These little platforms fall way too fast. Like they don't give you time to react. Again, every other game does it better. These look like they should rumble a little more, or maybe they should be spaced a little bit further apart to actually make it worth the challenge, but it's not. They're like needlessly fast, and you never jump like just far enough or just high enough. Like there's one portion where I was trying to get from one platform to the next. Let's say this platform here, and there's a platform over here, and you jump from one to the next, and I kept missing it, and I kept missing it. The pixel, by the way, detection is horrible on this, the hitbox. If you go too far off in any other game, you feel like your foot can hang off the ledge. In this game, if your foot comes close to the ledge, you're falling off. And so you can't judge where to jump from. So I found myself falling over and over and over again and running through the level over and over and over again because of a jump that doesn't need to be there. It should be a lot easier, a little bit more forgiving. It's like a jump like that, right? And you don't get this downward bounce jump until a little bit later on. But yet, like there's portions where you can actually get up on top of this level here, and you actually get behind the UI. But it's part of the level. Like I got up on a platform and I walked to the left, and I was stuck behind the UI, and I'm thinking I can't see my character because this stupid UI is in the way. And I kept wondering, how did it make it through this?
It's not like Mario 1 where like you get up there and you get kind of entangled with the UI, but that's because you're finding a secret. You're finding like you're not really, you're not supposed to be here kind of thing. Like this is
it's not
sign in this.
I think I had to be there. It felt like I had to be. I don't know. It's just this game doesn't have a lot going for it. There's no reason to go back. Like very early on in the game, you'll come across portions where you'll see, okay, I'm going to need to come back to this level later to get, like there was a shotgun hanging out of the side of the wall.
That's a cool ass building in the background though. That was
right. In the background, I guess the animation is actually really cool. I like the animation style. They've actually got some nice design, but they're just so over. It's the same tree over and over again. Parallax scrolling, cool, but you can only do that so many times. In order to, see this little button here, right? Yeah. In order to get rid of these, this is early in the game, to get rid of these blocks, you have to punch this button. So, but you got to get this dude out of the way. You have to get this dude out of the way, knock out this weird shotgun hanging out of there, punch this button. These two will disappear, and then you can go over this way. Okay, now you got blocks over here. What would you do to this button? Punch it, right? Jump on it, right? No, you have to push this barrel over onto it. But why? Because if all you have to do is punch this one, and this is a 90-degree asset flip to here, wouldn't it be something like you just jump on it or you punch it or something and it activates? No, you have to drop this stupid barrel on there to get it to activate. Oh, by the way, if the barrel's a little bit off and you knock it, or if you go past it, you punch it a little bit, you can actually knock the barrel off of this thing in a lot of different places, and then you're screwed. You gotta off yourself to reset the level to come back and do this. So there's a lot of design issues with the game. It really feels like they just found a bunch of cool assets on Unity or whatever and just put together and put a platformer. It's not fun. I'm sorry. It's
what did
cool
you play
animation, but that's it. What I played on the what do you think? What kind of platform do you think a game like this would be perfect for?
A cell phone.
Handheld, let's say. What kind of handheld device? A Switch or a Steam Deck, right? Let's say it's available on PC. Does not function on Steam Deck. I downloaded it. It would the minute it would start up, it would just crash out. Like, how is it? I know it takes a little bit of work to flip a few switches. I mean, I'm being very basic at this point to get a game to run on Steam Deck, but the Steam Deck is at the very heart of Steam right now. And if you're releasing games going forward, you better have, within the last year, you better have been planning to put this thing on the Steam Deck. Like, games should have been designed since the year before last to be on Steam Deck, to always function on Steam Deck. A game like this should function on Steam Deck. This does not function on Steam Deck. I had to play it. I played on my laptop. It was fine. I used my trusty green controller here, the Xbox controller. But man, just did not like this game at all. Nothing, like, it didn't feel good. Apart from the animation, I couldn't find anything that I enjoyed about the game. So sorry. And that's all I'm going to say about it. But
dang, that looks good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was looking at something else. So what was that game? And can I buy it? That seemed good.
Panda Fun. So, like, look, that part actually looks kind of fun. Like, you're jumping around, you're destroying this robot.
Yeah.
This boss battle. It's Contra. They borrowed stuff. It's a lot like Atomic Heart, Zach, where you said they kind of borrowed a bunch of elements from a bunch of different games. They had no idea how to bring it all together. That's what this is in the 2D format. Borrowed a bunch of stuff from a bunch of different games. Didn't know how to bring it all together.
But this one was made by like a 16-year-old kid.
This was made by a full team, I think.
Oh.
Okay. I'm going to move on to the next game that I've been playing. The other review game. All right. Let me find this video here. So y'all know I like, I'm a big SteamWorld fan. SteamWorld Dig 1 and 2. I like playing Dig Dug and Mr. Digger or whatever, all those stupid games.
Driller.
Mr. Driller.
Put some respect on the name.
Dome Keeper. First of all, there's a person who's just tapping away.
Yeah, Zach, could you maybe type a little louder?
Sorry.
I like tapping onto dirt in a game like this called Dig, which is Deep in Galaxies.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
Logo.
Anyway, so this is a twin stick-ish roguelike SteamWorld Dig style game across across different planets. It's a lot of
weird ass. This Terraria is weird since the last time I played.
There's a lot of Terraria in this. Again, platformer. You got some loot harvesting. There's just kind of weird little aspect. Like, you get this bug ship.
Bug shit.
You get to go to all these different planets, mine them, do whatever you want, murder a bunch of animals.
I'm seeing a grappling hook. I'm in.
There is a grappling hook in this. Look at it. They got a freaking monster with a big eyeball and wings that floats around. This game is I really enjoyed this game. I was playing it. It works on Steam Deck.
That man had a keyblade.
Had a keyblade. They have no shame in appropriating really cool stuff from different video games. Like they're like, hey, we got a grappling hook, just like many games which you might know of that have grappling hooks. It's Bionic Commando. It's it's just all kinds of shit in this.
That
It's
scene
great.
made it look like it turns into a bullet hell shooter for a spell, does it?
There are bullet hell aspects to this game.
Yeah, okay.
It gets wilder and wilder as it goes on. When you first start, it's like it feels like SteamWorld Dig when you first start, because you're just kind of heading downward and blowing up, knocking stuff away with a sword or a knife, and then you get a hammer, and then you get a potion that kind of shoots fire, and then you get a bigger gun, and then you get a bigger gun, and then you get bomb. Look, there's just a chaos there. It is so freaking cool. Oh, who's back? Look at that, Zach's back.
Oh, I added him as you removed him.
You go to different planets. I think essentially there's like space pirates or something. It's whatever.
Travel the galaxy, kill them all.
You don't need a story for this, but there's boss levels. You can land on an asteroid and take out, like that rock monster was on an asteroid that you could just randomly flies by. You take out. There's a dude in a giant freaking drill. Really fun little design elements. You can upgrade your. It's a riot. I'm not madly in love with the control scheme, because you do need to use like some of the basics. I need to remap it, but some of the basic stuff, like you need to use both triggers, both shoulders, X, A, B, Y, up, down. You have to use every button. There's a little bit of claw action going on with this. So I need to remap my my controls. But other than that, I'm really enjoying this game. It's on Steam, only on Steam right now. Plays fantastically on the Steam Deck. So refreshing, because it's not a traditional roguelike digger game, but it is sort of a mashup. Oh, and there's co-op. There's like multiplayer, four-person multiplayer. Just go at it, and you could destroy each other. It's like got a little bit. What is that duck game? Duck game.
Duck game. I was gonna say duck game.
It's got a little bit of duck game on there. It built it. It's a blast. It's worth it. I love just zooming into these different planets, and you hit the button. It's just a cool cinematic. It reminds me of like ActRaiser, where you're going over some of the different things, and the Mode 7 effect kicks in. It's got a little bit of that. It's fun. I'm enjoying it.
It looks cool.
It looks cool. It's a silly little game.
It looks dumb as hell, but like
it's totally dumb as hell in a good way. In a good way.
It looks like Terraria a little bit too.
Yeah, we said that. Like
I already made
times.
that joke. Thanks.
Yep. But yeah,
I wasn't paying attention.
I think you were booted at that moment too. But Deep in Galaxies, dig. It's a lot of fun. I can recommend it. It's I think it's the kind of game that if you have a Steam Deck, this is perfectly made for a Steam Deck. As much as I loved Dome Keeper, this is in the same vein in terms of being perfect for the platform. So yeah, dig Deep in Galaxies, enjoyable. Who wants to go next?
JJ, review your products for us.
Well, I will say the only game I've been playing is Dead Space, the remake.
Ooh, tell me about it.
It's been a long time since I've played Dead Space proper. We're talking first release. So going back to it, I absolutely kind of forgot how much I really love the entire feel of this game. Like it starts off spooky as hell and stays. It is as scary as your eye tracking.
I'm looking at the wall.
Yeah.
No, sorry, continue.
Yeah. But like it's incredible to me that EA just kind of let this franchise die. Like it's so well realized in sort of the universe and the creature designs and everything, and it's just like we made a bad third game and just flushed it down the toilet.
Yeah.
It is. I still have to finish. That game.
No, you don't. Don't.
No. Okay.
No. Fuck no.
But, I don't know. The story really pays off. You should see it. You should see it through.
But man, this game is beautiful too. Like the lighting and the sort of like, I don't like seeing Isaac as much as they make you look at Isaac.
He talks a little too much.
He's a chatty guy now. But
You
Like,
should just be a grunter. It'd be like, "Hur!"
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Yes.
Hot, hot, hot.
But like, boy, every weapon is still super satisfying in this game. Like, you get that
Mhm.
like. You get that like beam cannon thing, and it just like you just like obliterate dudes.
Oh, I love that weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, and
They
like and everything moves better. Like the anti-gravity stuff just feels so much better this time around than in the original Dead Space, because
Mhm.
they were still trying to figure that shit out back in whenever Dead Space 1 came out. 06? Like, when did Dead Space 1 come out?
This
06
one was like
sounds
2009,
09 for Dead Space
9
No.
or
1?
8. Oh, sorry, 8, 08, 08 or 07.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 07 probably
Sounds
was been more.
wrong.
Maybe 07. 07.
But like,
We walked
but
it.
yeah, just going back into it, man. What a game. What an experience. It is spooky as hell. You still do, like, you enter a room and you're just like, because you know immediately you're just going to be locked in this room
Mhm.
while you just have to fight for survival. But this is a game that really benefited from the increased fidelity, and they didn't fuck up one of the most important parts of Dead Space, and that was the sound design. The sound design is still
2008, by the way. 2008.
2008. Okay. It just sounds so good, and all the sound effects, and like if you have like a good audio, like headphones or something, like it's just haunting throughout. You hear the creaks of the ship and everything and stuff. It for a game when they announced it and they were starting to sort of run it, I had zero confidence in them pulling this off, and they nailed it. Like, it's nice to see Dead Space back, and I hope that this is like it's back. I hope they figured it out. Like, it's hard to say sometimes because like I don't necessarily agree with remaking good things. I mostly agree with remake bad things, because then you can just make it good. Which was like remake Dead Space 3 so you can make a good game instead or something. But I don't, it's one of those things where it's gonna suck to have to play through like 2 more remakes before they make a new Dead Space, I think, because I feel like they're just gonna start fresh and just sort of retell the story or something at some
No,
point.
you know, they could very well go from this game and just continue the story.
I just don't know how
reboot
EA
it from this first game.
Yeah, I just don't know how EA sees the franchise, I guess. Like, do
Right.
they think that this will be a jump off point and just make a new Dead Space 2, or what? Or do they do like
I think
Dead
it'll be a new
Space,
Dead Space 2 with
Dead
like
Space,
some elements of 3
Dead
or
Space colon new subtitle or something?
Yes,
Just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I want to comment on
Roll in
something that
Extraction.
this remake does pretty well. Like, I haven't played it, but I've read a lot and I watched a lot on it. And what it does something that I think is really interesting. Is it like like the way you imagine Dead Space in your head is the way the game is.
Yes.
But mechanically, the guns are changed. A lot of them are completely different.
Yeah.
They behave the same, but they're actually like they offer a new utility to you. So instead of like getting the flamethrower that nobody uses because it sucks, it actually has a use now. And it's like, oh, I can just spray everybody down and it'll tick them down slower, and it's not this piece of shit like it was prior. Like, it does a lot of things like that, small little tweaks that like a game designer now can look back in the past and be like, oh yeah, that kind of sucked, let's tweak that. Like, that's really interesting to me that they had enough restraint to just do that and execute everything else. So
but yeah, so Dead Space, if you're interested in it, I highly recommend picking up Dead Space if that was a game that you
totally
like.
put it on my list.
So it's not a review unit or anything that I got, but it is something that I bought. So you know how Sony released an expensive new piece of hardware that nobody wants? Well, I didn't get that, but I did get the new PlayStation DualSense Edge controller.
Oh, excellent!
I knew I was going to be able to at least trick somebody into thinking about the VR2 already. Because if anyone was going to, it's going to be me or Dally.
That's true.
Not with my TV situation.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
continue.
And with your TV situation, it's going to be me, and it hasn't been me yet.
Just like NSYNC said, it's gonna be May.
Yeah, it's gonna be May. But the PSVR2 Gran Turismo 7 footage has been.
Oh God, I'm hearing good things about that. I'm
Anyways,
hearing some awesome shit.
So I'll just do you could, I don't know if how often you've seen the Edge controller or whatever. So like classic.
Okay. Yeah.
Edge.
Oh.
So I mean it's a little the Edge is a little the classic's a little chunkier than the Edge. You can see it's a little
the Elite is the same way. The Xbox Elite.
The weight is significantly more. It's at least
good.
It's at least twice as heavy. The grips down below here are rubberized, so that's nice. It has something really interesting that I didn't know what they were until you booted up the game. And if you, oh God, your eye tracking is so But if you look down at the joysticks, they got these function keys underneath the joysticks.
We see it.
So those you can you can basically make those.
Those are custom triggers now, right?
They're not custom triggers in a traditional sense because there are triggers that go on the back. These kind of let you switch between profiles. You hold down the function key and you can switch to profile on the go, but it also lets you do a couple of other things like adjust the volume and adjust like chat, microphone stuff just through this function key. It's not really useful in a sense unless you really use the profiles a lot, but one of the big things that they added was the modules. So there's a little switch in the back that pops this faceplate off. Let's see if I can actually get it. My fingernail. It's a very small switch, so it's not like so yeah, faceplate. This little faceplate piece comes off, and there's these little metal hooks in there, so you can pop them off, and the whole stick module comes out as one whole unit, complete with the function key. And so you can change it, and they're not expensive. You can get a whole new module, and they sell them right now at like GameStop and Best Buy for like $20. So if you start getting stick drift, you could just throw the module out and buy a new one and shove it in there. So it's nice. I'm hoping that it means that they plan on releasing more module types, or like I don't know how Sony will be with like a third party releasing module types or something, but I could only hope like maybe a Hall effect one to wipe out stick drift entirely or something. But it's an interesting choice. I don't know like what the benefit really is other than just knowing that your controller is going to break at some point, so make it as easy as possible to fix, which is like it's not like it's that hard to fix a PlayStation's joysticks as it is now. So in the case you get it comes with the default the PlayStation 5 thumbsticks, but just like the Xbox plus you get domed ones too, so you get the shorties. Nice. And the tall boys.
My favorite beers.
Yeah. It only has 2 back buttons, which is interesting because most of these controllers have 4, like to replace the triggers on top. But you get 2 choices. You get paddles, like the traditional paddle, and these little like you can't really make them out too well, but they're like little buttons that like are just like little things that just they feel really good. They're kind of impractical. The buttons, like the paddles, are more thing, but I think like the button works really good for like quick reloads and stuff. Like if you're playing an FPS or something, it's pretty good. It has this really weird device that I don't fully understand or appreciate. It comes in the case, and it's this little thing, And what it does is you take it comes with a threaded USB-C cable, and you put the USB-C cable in there, lock it in, and you put it on your PlayStation, and there's a lock switch so you can lock it into place so you can't accidentally pull it out. I didn't lock it, so I pulled it out. But
interesting.
It's like just this weird little like lock so you can't accidentally yank out the
if you're trying to stay as a US,
yeah, if you're in gamer mode.
Yeah, and you can see all it is just a couple of prongs that's
actually I do
like
I mean listen I know I mean I gave it a little bit of like an eyebrow raise, but you know what, I love the Xbox One controller, but I will not use it on my PC because I don't like it wirelessly, and the micro USB-C or the micro USB is so dog shit that I will literally just sit there and break micro USB cables repeatedly trying to use it on my PC. It will not work.
So that's like why you get a wired 8-bit DOE controller.
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm still using my Xbox 360 controller, which just has the straight through cable, and I don't know if you can see how fucking worn down these thumb pads are.
They're so worn down, they're oily and they're peeling, right? That's
actually mine aren't peeling. They're just worn to shit. But I did disassemble one a couple months ago because of how absolutely disgusting it was. So I got a good look at the I'm like, maybe I should buy some new analog sticks for this bad boy. Just refurb a couple of them.
So yeah, the lock is good for the controller end, but it's not like it locks it in on the other end. So if you're so it's not like it's going to stop you from like tripping over it and accidentally unplugging your controller. So yeah, it's neat, but the case also has a little spot in it for a spare module, which is kind of cool. It doesn't come with the spare module, and it is a hard case.
Oh, nice.
Which is neat.
I like that. I always like a hard case.
Performance wise, it's great on the PlayStation 5. No problems with it at all. A battery life is dog shit. It's half the battery life of a DualSense, and the DualSense
2 hours.
And the DualSense already has shit battery life. Luckily, I'm mostly USB tethered. I rarely don't have it plugged in USB. So I love the way it feels. It's a good feeling controller. The weight, I think the DualSense really fits well in the hands, and I feel like this one does better. The triggers are textured differently. It's got the hair triggers and everything.
Okay.
So for that, it's great. They don't really advertise it as a PC controller, but they give you plenty of options for like PC, like because like Sony released games have sort of default DualSense functionality.
I will say, having played Returnal, and it gives me the notification that it supports it on PC. I'm like, do I want to get one?
Yeah,
I thought about it.
The triggers in Returnal are so vital to playing.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's Returnal more than any game really takes like full advantage of what's going on with the DualSense.
I will never know.
The problem. So Spider-Man, both Spider-Mans, and Returnal are the 3 first-party PlayStation games that I played that support DualSense out of box and worked great. You know how Steam is. Steam gets a little weird. You have to.
You know how Steam is.
Oh my god, I had this too, JJ. Oh
so you have to go into individual game. You have to turn off direct inputs, and when you go into universal controllers, you have to turn off the PlayStation profile, so the game will recognize that it's a DualSense and will activate the DualSense stuff. Like you may get the button prompts, but you're not going to get the DualSense features. So you have to turn it off. Yeah.
Then you have to go into the community packs and download the community pack that works with the game. It's like,
Yeah,
oh my God,
it's been
dude.
like, luckily, like I said, for Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Returnal, out of the box, no problems with any of it. But for whatever reason, almost no games recognize this as a DualSense controller outside of that. I booted up Dying Light 2, which supports DualSense features.
Mhm.
Could not get it to work. Won't even recognize it as a controller. Like, I can't navigate the menus. I unplugged it, plugged in my normal DualSense, no problems. DualSense features are in effect. Everything's there. Same thing with Dead Space. It's supposed to have. It doesn't even give you prompts, like without going in. It's a mess on PC. Like it's a great controller, and I wish it had better PlayStation support, or not PlayStation, PC support. Because even like the PlayStation 5, when you plug it in, recognizes it as an Edge controller and like activates whole new menus for you in the system to modify things and stuff. So I just wish they would do something, and they never will. I can only hope that some games kind of update to understand, because Death Stranding has DualSense support out of like the director's cut on PC. Does not recognize the Edge controller like at all. But you plug in the normal DualSense and it's perfectly fine, and all the features are there. I eventually got it to work on Death Stranding, but none of the DualSense features worked at all. So as a PC controller for $200, because that's what this controller costs, is $200. If you want a high-end gaming controller, this isn't the one to get. Like the Elite controller, something from Scuff, even some of the Razer ones, like the Wolverines and stuff, are better like options. Like this controller does some good stuff. It's very comfortable. It's got a good weight to it. If you're doing like for a PlayStation 5, it's phenomenal. And the stuff that it works on PC, it's phenomenal. I'm just like I'm an enthusiast when it comes to this sort of high end sort of like controllers and stuff. I've always been a big fan of this ridiculous market of controllers. I love getting cheap ass garbage controllers, and I love getting the high end ones. I like to see how different things can be. And I'm not a stranger to. I've got the Elite 2. I've got a high end fight stick. I've got crazy controllers.
Sure.
If this had better PC support, I would almost prefer it over the Elite 2 controller. But because the PC support's so horseshit, it'd be hard to sort of recommend to anyone outside of a very niche PlayStation market. Like this thing is great for Gran Turismo. Like you put the paddles on there for some shifting or whatever.
Put the paddle to the metal.
Yeah, and with the the DualSense features and all that stuff. But like, so like if you're like competitive, like it's really good. The buttons have just a little bit different of a heavier feel to them, which I kind of like. But overall, I enjoy it as a controller. It's got a good feel, but I don't know really outside. This controller is made for somebody like me or somebody that's a high-end competitive gamer, and that high-end competitive gamer probably isn't using a PlayStation controller. So they're trying to get a market that's not going to go over to them. And it misses a lot of the key elements that like a person who's looking for a high-end controller is looking for, a more casual person. Gotcha. So yeah, it's a great controller, but it could be, it's a very good controller that could be a great controller.
That could be a great controller.
Yeah. And that's
all right. Taylor, what are you playing, dude?
What am I playing? That's a good question.
Have you not been playing all of it?
The game of life, baby.
A lot of time on a game that I can't talk about yet.
Yep.
or at least a portion of a game that I can't talk about yet.
Tears of the
but
Kingdom, everybody. You heard it here
yeah,
first.
I'm in, dog. You got it.
Playing it on Steam Deck.
He's our Pokemon expert, and he has
He's our
got the
Pokemon
DLC.
I do have the DLC. I actually didn't get it. I hacked it. It's mine now.
It's mine now. He used the video.
Come for me, Nintendo! I dare you. Yeah, I popped in a little bit more Returnal.
Nice.
That is still a hard. I don't know. I mean, like I feel like it's kind of hard.
No,
but shut up.
The roguelike game is very difficult.
Yeah, it's hard, man. I don't like it. But then it's really just been that Theatrhythm, a lot of Theatrhythm.
There you go.
So I'm trying to unlock all the games so I can play all the songs. Zach, did you get the DLC? Did you get the Saga? I don't know why. I swear it's not showing up for me. Does it get the series playlaythrough option too, or no?
No, you have to go to just like the individual song.
Yeah.
List.
Oh, okay. All right. So I didn't look for it there. So I probably do have it. So there's a lot of that. That's like one of my top right now nighttime game because it gets me nice and sleepy. Like, so when I realize that I if I miss more than 2 notes in a song, then I've played too long and I'm too tired. It's really nice for that. But then they just added Devil Summoner 2. Wait.
Yeah, no, the Games Pass. To
Games Pass. It's Summoner, right?
Yeah.
Or Soul Hackers 2.
Soul Hackers 2. That's what
they're all the same game.
Soul Hackers 2 is the game that they added to Games Pass just the other day, like 2 days ago.
Okay.
And so I figured I installed it. I was like, let me see what it's about. It has the same long ass introduction that every Atlas game ever made has. But I did get to the point where I have the party of people and was playing the game. The party of people is good. I don't know. It's like what?
I thought you were saying it's like Persona. It's like, yeah.
No. I mean, I was going to compare it to Persona and Shin Megami Tensei for obvious reasons. But you know, if you are a SMT player and you're like, where does this fall into the spectrum of Atlas SMT games? It's on the left, exactly. It feels like the in between of Persona and SMT, like the mix of right in the between. So if you like the part where you collect demons and fuse them and do all that same shit, but you don't like the going to school and that aspect of the game, then I have good news. This is the game. It's very streamlined. It's streamlined almost to a fault. Because it's just like you're gonna play the video game and then you play the video game. SMT5 at least was like, I don't know, felt like there was more substance to it. The difference is that SMT5 isn't on PC and doesn't look as good. And now all I still and continue to want is SMT5 on the PC. Stop keeping it in the cage, please, God. I don't know. This just
That's
like runs.
Supposedly, one of the rumors that game is going to be announced in June or just before June for PC and PS.
Then I will literally wait another 3 months just in the off chance because I think I stopped at like 20 something hours.
I think I stopped at that point too.
On Switch, and I will wait until June to pick it up again because this starts to like tickle that portion of my brain that wants to play all those games. I don't know. It's good. I mean, it's just like, so you just hop straight into it and you're like, okay, go fight. And here is your arena of Shin Megami Tensei style RPG combat. That's the whole game. Now continue forever.
This franchise is so weird because like it has the most chaotic releases because like Soul Hackers 1 was like a Sega Saturn game that got remade for the 3DS, and now you have Soul Hackers 2 like 20 years later almost.
Also, it's a good PC port.
Yeah.
It's so it doesn't make any sense, man. Because not all of them are, and Atlas won't give us the other good ones. I don't understand why. I don't know. Obviously there's going to be some level of exclusive agreement stuff happening in the background. But yeah, I want SMT5 on the PC very badly.
Yeah, same. I stopped playing the game because I hate the Switch, so I'm like, okay, I'll just wait.
It's just, I mean, like, I'm fine with the Switch. Aside from, like, I actually don't. Theater Rhythm is a little rough on it, and when I'm playing handhelds, and it's much better. So the only problem with it playing it docked is on the bigger screen. It's actually, I like it on the small screen. Because I find the notes easier to look at all the time. But the controller of the Switch with Joy-Cons is terrible to play that game with. So
I love it.
I
don't like it.
Like
tabletop mode, baby.
Yeah, tabletop. But when you're laying in bed trying to go to sleep, it's hard to do tabletop.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't really do hard songs. I mean, listen, I'm an amateur Theater Rhythm player, right? So like I'm still.
You're never gonna do this because it involves spending more money, but like Hori's like split pad pros are actually really good Joy-Con replacements because they're full size fucking controllers that you can slap onto the side of the thing.
Yeah, no, I don't need to. I already have a Steam Deck. I don't need to make my Switch larger, but thank you.
Exactly, right? Like, and you can't use them undocked on the Switch either, which is super funny.
But yeah, Soul Hackers 2 is pretty good. I'm gonna go back to. I don't know. I just like how it's just very.
I mean, it's a Shin Megami Tensei game. I mean, it's in that franchise. So.
They're honestly, it's like Dragon Quest, where there honestly isn't a bad Shin Megami Tensei game. Like they're all of different varieties, and sure you can say some of them
flavors of Shin Megami Tensei. Yeah.
Some of them are bad, but none of them are like horrible games that like aren't like able to be played or whatever.
There's something to find in every single one of them. Even the Virtual Boy game.
There's a Virtual Boy game?
Yeah, they did a Snow Brothers game.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It was like even when you play as Jack Snow.
Listen, Taylor, what you got to get.
Here we go.
If you don't know already, and you should have known this by now, is the Fixture S2 for the Nintendo OLED screen, reviewed by JJ Holder.
I fucking love this thing, man. I still use it, man. It's great.
I am not getting that. No.
I never would have bought one for myself. Hey, listen, they're gonna be at PAX East. Maybe we just kind of.
Are they really? Nice.
Yeah. Fixture's always there.
Okay.
You go, just kind of take me with you and say, hey, maybe
we know that. You know this guy.
Let's see.
Dude.
Finally, it's my turn.
Last week you took up like 45 minutes just on your own, and I was dozing off. So let's see.
Yeah.
I mean, last week was an important week, so. So this week will be a lot shorter. So I've been playing.
Good.
So my big thing this week I want to talk about is I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14 again. I'm getting back into the game. I haven't really played the game in a year and a half or so. I usually do that. I play the expansion and I wait for more updates to come out, and then I come back to the game. So now I'm back. I'm behind. Have a lot to play. Cool. But
now with my job being games writing and everything, I'm always looking for something to write about. And there was an email I got one night from a Final Fantasy 14 player who's putting on a charity event in the game Friday where they're doing a battle of the bands type of thing. Because in Final Fantasy 14, you can use a MIDI controller or a bunch of other programs to play instruments.
Love it.
Like a bunch of them. Like there's
what a fucking sentence, man.
There's a bunch of drums. There's a bunch of guitars, flutes, all these things, and people
Make your
in the
own
game,
theater rhythm.
and people in the game make their own bands, and they have concerts and things, which is a normal thing that happens in the game every day. But they're bringing together like 50 or 60 in-game bands to do a benefit for the earthquakes that happened in Turkey. They're going to raise money with Doctors Without Borders. So I'm going to do that Friday and Saturday. I'm really excited about that. But yeah, I just wanted to just bring that up because it's a really fun thing that this community does, where they always find really interesting ways to pay tribute or to help whenever they can. Like they did the Kintaro Miura. I'm not Japanese, so I don't know how to say it. But when the Berserk creator died, people lined up in Berserk attire, basically like the class Dark Knight in the game is based off of Berserk. So they kind of like, it was a big thing, lined up and all these things. Last week, 2 weeks ago, there's a big fishing event for an unofficial Eorzean museum, which is like an in-game national like thing that people do. It's like a website where people keep up with the fish in the game and a bunch of things, and it's a museum. They had a big event last week for that, and this week's a benefit for Doctors Without Borders, which is great. So yeah, Friday I'll be posting about that, and I'm going to be talking to the bands. I have some people I can talk to. It'll be fun. But besides that, I've been playing a lot of gacha games, which is normal. But I've been playing for work. I've been playing the Street Fighter gacha that came out yesterday. It's not a good game, but I really enjoy it because as a fighting game player, I'm just if there's as a fighting game player, it's like, okay, I like this, but also now I'm getting to that stage where I'm like, this is an IP I like, so I'm gonna play it. Like that's kind of where I am. So it's just like an idle game. If you've ever played AFK Arena, it's a lot like that, but with Street Fighter characters. Been going through that. A lot of the fun things in it are the verbiage they use, which are like really ingrained in fighting game culture. Like there's an anchor, there's a lead, there's all these Marvel versus Capcom verbiage in there, which is like, oh, that's cool, I guess. Like it makes me happy. Yeah, I've been playing that. It's a slot machine game. So then here's actually a good game I'm playing that's a gacha game. It is called Limbus Company. Limbus Company is a gacha game.
By the way, I did upgrade my light. Or are you talking about Zach?
So, me?
Oh. Continue.
Limbus Company is a...
Limbus Company?
Yep, Limbus Company. It's a gacha game made by the studio called Project Moon. And Project Moon is a Korean independent studio. They've made 2 games before this. One called Library of Ruina, and the other one is Lobotomy Corporation, which is like their first game. Had a lot of indie, like it's not hugely popular, but it's popular enough to where it's like really successful within this, I guess, like independent game, Asian game kind of weird niche. It's very, very popular game that you probably haven't heard about. But They are a studio that they just make really solid, weird games. And Lobotomy Corporation is their first game, which is like an SCP based game where you're containing mutants, variants of different SCP origins, and you're trying to contain their emotions, all these things, and you're harvesting their emotions to kind of like give power to the city. And that's kind of like the basis of it, like a big brain in the city. Library of Ruina is kind of a more, it's a card-based battler game, deck building game. They're all really heavy story-based games. So those two, Library of Ruina is a prequel, and then Limbus Company is a gacha game that plays like Library of Ruina and Lobotomy Corporation together, and it's the canonical sequel to their first game. So what's really interesting about this is this company, Project Moon, is all the games that they make are in different genres, and they do that from an intentional standpoint. And this, they're putting like all their heavy production values into a gacha game to, one, make more money so they can fund their next project, but two, because that's just the genre they landed on. So it's a very well-made game. The story is so good. You're a manager of, I think it's 12 people. They're called sinners. They're basically sinners as in like people at church who sin. They
Heard of them.
What kind of sinning are we talking?
So what's really cool is you're the manager of these people, and they have these things called egos, E.G.Os. They stand for something, but it's all connected to the lore. But they basically like can inhabit and use powers from those SCP paranormal creatures that I was talking about prior. You're kind of like a cleanup crew. You kind of go around and fight things, or just like clean up the streets and just like keep everything, nice. And what is really interesting is the way these people operate as a business is they're constantly in a bus driving from place to place to place. So there's always some place for them to survey. So you're just in basically, so that they're never stopping. They're just like kind of just going. And you're the manager of these sinners. They're kind of like quirky. They can't really die. So there's a lot of like slapstick humor with that. A lot of really dark things that can happen with that, which is really fun. But yeah, it's like, what's really funny to me is like sometimes there's like zombies in the streets at night because the city is messed up. There's like all these different districts and people who are like walking around, and people who are really crazy, messed up. The bus that you're in, the Limbus Company, will run over people, and their limbs are being eaten by the bus. The Limbus Company. So it's just like, it has this really good humor to it.
That's extremely the kind of joke I thrive on. So let's go.
And if you like look up the aesthetic of it, it's just so well done. You can tell that the people cared. But yeah, it's a story heavy free gacha game. And their other two games are really good too. So yeah, that's the primary chunk of my playing this week has been this game.
Sick.
It's dope.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, and they're gonna keep adding chapters over the year or so to keep updating the story. Because they usually do early access for the game, so you buy the game, then you get chapters as they come out. That's kind of how they do it. So this is the same concept, but free to play, gotcha. And the rates you get to pull characters are really good. Not like you can beat the game so far with the weaker ones because you keep the same 12 characters, but you get different forms of the same 12 characters. So there's no like really discrepancy. has amazing music. Their music is killer. Small team in Korea, killing it. Definitely check it out if you want something to like peep at.
Peep it.
Yup.
Now, so that's all we've been playing. But have we've been snacking on anything?
Hold on.
I got something.
I got nothing.
All right, go ahead.
I mean, mine's not crazy.
You're not crazy. All right.
I gotta wait for Taylor to get back before I reveal.
I got a
Go ahead.
Kroger Big K lemon lime. I don't think.
Oh, nice.
But I don't remember having ever seen this variety before.
Ooh.
Spiky.
Hot and spicy Cheez-Its. And
it looked like Hote spicy. Like it was like not
No,
hot
I know.
It was Hote spicy.
It's hot and spicy. But what they smell like is no, they smell like the green Tabasco sauce. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's a jalapeno Tabasco.
Yeah.
I mostly associated with Chipotle because that was the first time I'd ever had it was at Chipotle. And yeah, I mean it's not like
really leaning into the eye tracking, Dally. You're just
You're just making Zach cry.
They're good.
That's cool.
Just spicy enough. Doesn't hurt you in the long run. And I could eat a whole box.
I picked up the it was like the Southwestern or whatever the style, Southwestern style dots. After you showed those cinnamon dots, JJ, I went out and found some locally. My wife loved them, devoured the whole bag by herself. I bought her an even bigger bag for her birthday. So, but they had like the Southwestern style, which are like
Oh,
spicy. So I've been into like these spicy treats. So good stuff. Excellent. Well,
I made some homemade Chex Mix today in my air fryer.
Oh, you're one of those people. You are white. You're one of those people.
White. Worcestershire sauce and all the good stuff.
Nice. Well, I'll tell you what I got. I got to open it. JJ talked about it maybe on the previous podcast or in the Discord, and then I saw it at Kroger. Somebody's dog is invading the house. The Mountain Dew Pitch Black.
Yeah.
Let's try it. Right?
Is that normal or zero sugar?
This is normal, zero sugar. What are you, crazy? 280 calories per bottle, baby. All right, let's give this a shot.
It doesn't taste like the Mountain Dew Pitch Black 2 that was so good. It's like sour grape. It was a great flavor.
It's mild. It's like a very light. Is it grape? Is it grape the flavor?
Theoretically.
Grape-ish. It's like it's got enough of a flavor of grape to kill the high Mountain Dew tang.
It is Mountain Dew Pitch Black, the return of Mountain Dew Pitch Black Playland.
Mountain Dew Pitch Black. But it's okay.
I don't have it with me, but I will say I had the new Coke flavor that they just dropped. You know, they do
the
those.
Peach one?
No, that's Pepsi.
Oh, I'm gonna get one of those bottles.
They have all of those crazy flavors. Or like this.
You better not misstep around these lies right here. Yeah. Don't you dare. Yeah. Don't you dare miss.
My girlfriend and I were talking about it today. So.
Is this a Rosalia flavor Coke? Or
no, because they do that stuff where it's like, this one is the pixel flavored Coke. You know,
the pixel one.
That's right. Dream World.
This new one's called Move. And so I got one, and it's vile. It tastes like Banana Boat, like the tanning.
That's
lotion.
My favorite.
That is the one that I saw. It's the artist. I think it's Rosalia.
It's Rosalia. Yeah.
Glad I didn't get it.
I think it's supposed to be like pina colada. I'm guessing it's definitely coconut, but it tastes like. It tastes like Banana Boat, like tanning. It was absolutely. I took a sip of it, went and then threw it away.
Coca-Cola Move, Coca-Cola Dream World, Marshmallows limited Coca-Cola.
That one was
marshmallows.
okay. That one was like a strawberry flavor.
Starlight was okay. Starlight was okay. I like Starlight.
I like Starlight. Yeah,
Yeah.
Starlight
And
was,
Bite. I don't know
good.
what Bite was. I never tried Bite.
That was the one that tasted like pixels, and it was online.
It's called Bite, but it's tasted
tasted like pixels.
Yeah, and it was you could only get it through the
zero sugar. I got it. Okay.
Through the online. Yeah. I believe me, I'm gonna get a Peeps Pepsi. It's
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do too.
Okay, so this actually goes into mine. So today I went grocery shopping. I didn't go to Aldi, which is why I don't have my wine. I went to a different store.
Don't have your lush juice. Yeah.
But today I purchased
stop.
Today I purchased 2 wonderful beverages by everyone's favorite YouTuber and influencer.
Prime.
I purchased their hydration drink, which is called Ice Pop, and then I got their energy drink for tomorrow.
Which Paul brother is it? Is it the boxer
it's
or the wrestler?
It's
Which
the wrestler.
Paul brother is it? Sean Paul.
It's the one that does the cool wrestling moves.
Okay, so the one that's actually kind of trying to turn
John
things
Paul.
around, but then blowing it at every turn with his crypto scams.
Yeah. Yep.
But this is very good. I've already had a couple sips, but I had to keep it off camera so I wouldn't spoil my surprise.
Good
but job. It's primarily coconut water, which is interesting because it doesn't taste like it. But this one, the Ice Pop, tastes like those popsicles that look like this.
Oh, the bomb pops.
Yeah, it just tastes like that, but like melted down. It's kind of how it's honestly pretty good. So if you ever see one, I would buy a couple and beat up the 7-year-olds that are trying to grab it.
If you're in Europe, just keep away because apparently it's like gold in Europe right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
they're like fighting in the streets.
It's like Black Friday in America, but for
juice,
for Logan Paul juice.
Logan
and
Paul
KSI. He's the reason why it's so popular over there. But yeah, it's definitely this flavor is good. I've heard the other ones are not good. So I don't know. I got the energy drink tomorrow to have with my breakfast. So I'll tell you how that one goes.
I mean, it's gonna be. That's my breakfast most of the time too. It's like a cup of oatmeal or like a quick muffin or something.
Oatmeal.
I will get a 5-hour on the way into the office sometimes, depending on how late I was up.
Yeah, the beautiful elixir that is the white can Monster Energy drink.
Oh my gosh, the white can. Speaking of which, I get a hold of that ghost company and see if we can get some of that.
Yeah, give me some of that fucking Cinnabon whey powder. I need it.
All right. That is it for tonight. That's it for the snack question. That's it for all the games we've reviewed.
Just 2 more podcasts until PAX.
2 more sleeps until PAX.
No. Well, yeah, we go after the podcast, we fall asleep and don't wake up till the next one.
Exactly. We got a bunch of stuff coming up over the next few weeks. We got a ton of reviews. I know Zach still owes like
I'm caught up. I'm good right now.
JJ, yeah.
I've
got like 15, but and we got I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of news. There's a bunch of showcases over the next couple of weeks here, so that'll be fun. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun 3 weeks before we hit PAX because we land in exactly 3 weeks. We will be at PAX. Should we do a night before podcast?
No.
No.
I'm taking a red eye out. I mean, I'm on the West Coast. There's no way in hell.
No, our podcast will be just recorded from like dinner.
Then that's fine. I thought you meant like you're going to PAX bullshit. Like no. We are gonna do a So You're Going to PAX podcast, but we'll do that the week before PAX. Yeah. I think that'll be fine. Yeah.
But
I guess we can record our private conversation at dinner that we're having for the first time.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah, we won't tell. We won't tell whoever else. Like if Sam's gonna be there, we won't tell him that we're recording.
Yeah, and then we'll post. We'll just get him to say a bunch of stuff that will get him canceled.
Yeah,
it'll be great. We're gonna Scott Adams him.
Yeah. Playland says he wants a video like last year from the hotel.
We'll probably do
Almost
the
going.
mid packs recording will probably be on Friday night.
Yeah, like before I take off
because he's gone Friday.
Yeah.
When are you leaving on? You're leaving on Friday.
Yeah, I'm leaving Friday.
Because it's your wife's birthday, right, or something.
Yeah,
Like,
the old ball and
birthday on
chain.
Saturday, so I gotta leave.
Yeah.
You know what's only happening once, Dally? PAX East 2023.
I tell you what, we'll record on. We'll do a live viewing on viewing. It's not a
live viewing, like one of us died.
We'll be streamed live at through the Twitch channel because of PAX East. Maybe that night when we get back from
I think
from
after we
PAX GPT,
yeah,
we'll do
I think
we'll
we
do a
need to
podcast.
just do a group recording after we give out the awards.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can just get together in the do a live video or something at in the conference room over there, which we've done that in the past.
You go next door to the one that they haven't opened yet, where nobody's there, and we're just...
all we gotta do is let them know that hey, we're gonna be using that for recording, and they're always like, cool.
Are tickets still available?
Not for Saturday.
Not for Saturday, and the 4 days are super low. They say.
And the Friday
is about to be sold out.
It's about to, so last year they, like you said, I think they sold out PAX Saturday that.
Yeah,
day.
like I think either the night before it was like it's almost sold out, and I think Saturday it was.
4 days is all days. Yeah, so 4 days usually means. Yep.
Yeah. We're going to be there as a complete crew Thursday as complete and most of Friday. Me, Taylor, and Zach will be there all day Friday.
Half a Saturday.
And half a Saturday. I'm going to be there longer on Saturday than the rest of them, but it makes more sense.
Sam, there's 5 of us.
Yeah.
Wednesday, there's 5 of us Wednesday, Thursday, and part of Friday. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And then Sam is going to be the rest of Friday, and I think he's just going to be enjoying Saturday.
There's only so much that a cat holding a bad cat can do, though.
Yeah. Have you ever tried walking a cat through busy city streets?
Downtown Boston.
Downtown Boston. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Saturday
we're going to be there for three days, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Wednesday, you get in Wednesday. That's my I'm going to settle in, get my pass, and do my tourism.
Yeah.
Saturday,
I think all of us will. Yeah.
Saturday, I'll probably just partner up with Zach and just explore Boston.
Yeah. So the plan right now is we're going to grab ourselves grub on Wednesday and then hang out probably at the Westin or someplace. I don't know if there's what real parties there are. But the show actually starts.
How could you possibly find out where the parties are?
At www.sidequesting.com. Find us there for all your parties and video game needs. You can find us at SideQuesting TV over on YouTube and Twitch. And you can find us individually at @the_double_J, at Dolly Demovsky, at OKQuest, at Taylor Bliss. Find us in the Discord, which is where you want to be the entire time. We'll see you all in the next episode of The Side Quest.